I've always found there's a hypnotic beauty in the rhythm of the night. The soft thud of tires against asphalt, the mesmerizing dance of oncoming headlights in the rearview mirror, and the lulling drone of the engine were my nightly serenade. I was a truck driver, and the vast, lonely roads were my kingdom. One such night, the moon hung high in the sky, casting a pallid glow across the landscape. A solitary howl in the distance broke the monotonous hum of my rig, snapping me out of my reverie. The flat stretch of Route 91 was eerily empty, save for me and my truck barreling down the lane. Suddenly, a strange glimmer in the distance caught my eye. As I neared, I discerned the shimmering outline of a hitchhiker draped in tattered clothes. It was a woman, I gathered, her face obscured by long, unkempt hair. Trusting my intuition, I pulled over. My truck let out a deep sigh as it slowed, almost as if protesting. "You headed up north?" I asked as she climbed into the passenger seat, brushing the hair away from her eyes. "Yes, thank you," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the engine's rumble. We continued in silence for miles, the rhythmic whoosh of passing road signs the only interruption. It felt like we were encapsulated in a world separate from reality, an expanse of moonlit road and silence. A chill crept up my spine as I glanced at her in the rearview mirror, her face partially hidden by shadows. Her eyes were oddly luminescent, mirroring the glow of the moon. I pushed away the unease bubbling within me. After all, people often look strange under the dance of moonlight. Suddenly, the radio, previously playing a soft country melody, erupted into a deafening screech of static. The woman didn't react, staying as still as a statue. I fumbled with the dials, but to no avail. Then, as abruptly as it had started, it ceased, replaced by a raspy voice from the local news station. Missing for over 20 years, police are reopening the case of Helen Mitchell. A picture was painted in words, a description too chillingly familiar. The tattered clothes, the unkempt hair, the luminescent eyes. It was the woman sitting beside me. With my heart pounding in my chest, I stole another glance at my passenger. Her head turned slowly, and for the first time I saw her smile. It wasn't comforting. Her eyes held no warmth, her grin no mirth. "She should have never gotten in that truck," she whispered, her voice barely more than a chilling breeze. The temperature in the cab plummeted. My breath fogged up the windshield and my hands tightened on the wheel. Panic surged through me. In the reflection of the rearview mirror, her form flickered and distorted, becoming transparent. As a last desperate effort, I swerved the truck off the road into the safety of a roadside motel I had just spotted. I leaped out, my heart pounding in my ears, and turned around to face the cab. It was empty. With a quivering hand, I opened the cab's door. Coldness greeted me, a frosty touch that sunk deep into my bones. There was no trace of her, not even a whisper of her presence. I returned to the motel, my legs heavy and my mind fogged. The receptionist, an old man, watched me with wary eyes. "Trouble on the road?" he asked. I nodded, sinking into a nearby chair, my body feeling like it was filled with lead. I told him the story, my voice trembling. His face paled. "That's Helen," he whispered, crossing himself. "She's a legend around here, a ghost trapped in the night she died. It's said she keeps reliving that fateful journey when she hitched a ride with a serial killer." I shuddered, the memory of her eerie smile still fresh. That night, I didn't return to my truck. I stayed at the motel, my dreams filled with luminescent eyes and chilling whispers. Route 91 still calls to me, but the hypnotic rhythm of the night feels sinister now. The road a haunting reminder of my eerie encounter. I can't help but glance at my rearview mirror, half expecting to see those luminescent eyes staring back at me. The open road, once my kingdom, is now my torment, forever echoing with the chilling whisper, "She should have never gotten in that truck."